Hey guys, Bijuu Mike here. Welcome back to another episode of Crimson Gray, the Yandere visual novel. Last episode seemed pretty interesting, and you guys seem to enjoy it as well. So let's give it another shot, and we'll see where the story goes. Okay, I want to see exactly why this game got such good reviews. I'm sure there's a good reason. Let's do it. Oh, I didn't save the game. Wow, fantastic. Okay, well, can't be that hard. Okay, yeah, that's right. This is where we actually left off. I put a poll inside the video, so let's see what you guys had to say in that poll. Well, you guys voted and said, say yes, so let's do it, okay. The results are in. I don't know, I just wanted to say that. All right, well, you guys want me to say yes. Lizzie, I don't know you very well, but despite all of this, I think you're a good person. No, I'm awful. John is just being kind. She talks like she's the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Yandere Girl. That should be a thing, huh? And not answering the question. I want to get to know you better, Lizzie. Maybe then I could love you. Ha! He said it! He said it, yes! John desperately hoped that that was a mistake, or it wasn't a mistake. He hoped this all wasn't a mistake. But he hadn't been stabbed yet, and after how today had gone, that was good enough for him. Then I'll see you later, okay? I'll be watching you. But yes, later. You're not going to do anything crazy. No, John loves me. That's all that matters. We both need to get to class, but we'll talk tomorrow, okay? Okay. The rest of the day was even more of a blur than usual. Everyone's voice is not even echoing in his head. John could hardly believe what he'd just done. It all seemed like a dream now. Had Lizzie really pulled a knife on him? Had he really threatened to jump off the school building? It made him wonder if he wasn't the insane one, but no, it really had happened. For better or for worse, he was stuck in this situation. Only when he was headed to bed did John realize that he strangely felt alive, even better than after his therapy sessions. Oh god. Will we live long enough to become the hero? Or, okay, we're just gonna stop that quote. You guys know where I'm going with that. Maybe it was the brush with death. Maybe it was just having something to think about other than his pathetic existence, but he felt almost good. Maybe that meant he was crazy too, but right now he was just glad to sleep soundly. In the morning, it all seemed more unbelievable. John sleepwalked through his routine, half certain that he would find out that it all had been a dream. But when he arrived at school, he found Lizzie waiting for him by the school entrance. She looked like she could have been waiting there for the entire night. When she saw him, though, her face lit up. John, you're finally here! I've been waiting for so long. Good morning. Yes, it's a wonderful morning. I spent so long too nervous to talk to you. What does that mean? What? Afraid that you would hate me, but we had such a nice talk. Now I'm barely nervous at all. But my heart, it still goes crazy every time you get near John. Isn't it horrible that we have to be in different classes? Lovers shouldn't be separated like this. Guys, it's so unfair. Will you eat lunch with me today, please? Won't you? She could sound so adorable. Normally, he'd be happy to have a girl like her asking to eat lunch together, but sure, on the roof again? No, there might be unkind people there and you might feel sad again. No, I have the perfect place. Where is it? That's a secret. I'll show you at lunchtime. Oh god. He wasn't really sure how to feel about that. For once, John had something to look forward to or dread. He wasn't sure. The minutes seemed to crawl by until it was finally lunchtime. When he went up looking for Lizzie, he discovered that she was waiting behind him, completely silent, watching him. Hi Lizzie. Let's go. We don't need to go to the cafeteria. This way. What did she cook for us? She practically dragged him away from the school and onto one of the paths in the nearby forest. Soon they got far enough they couldn't hear any sounds from the school. Here is perfect, just perfect. Lizzie faced away from him, giving a soft little laugh. Then suddenly she whirled around, thrusting something towards him. Oh god, no! A lunchbox. Was it necessary to freaking do that? I don't know, guys. I worked really hard on this. You have to eat it, you have to. Okay, thanks, Lizzie. She gave a little squeal and promptly sat down on the small rock. It seemed that she had a second lunchbox of her own, but she kept it on her lap until he opened his. John was braced for a horror show, but this is a surprise. It was just normal food. It actually looked pretty good. He took a bite, and it tasted good too. John realized that Lizzie was staring at him intensely as if her life was on the line, so he smiled at her. It's really good. Yay, I worked so hard on it. So, do you want to just eat together, or... This is a date, isn't it? We should get to know each other more. I just want to know everything about you. Well, I'm nothing special. That's not true. Let me see what to say. Despite himself, John found it easy to talk to her. He was sure he was sounding like an idiot, rambling about stupid, mundane topics. Yet she listened to every word with rapt attention. Hey, maybe being with a Yandere girl isn't so bad. Sure, she might stab anyone that comes into contact with me, but she listens to me, and you know, she actually cares. So I think it's a good win, guys. It was bizarre to have someone actually care about his life. His father never had time, his friends were busy with their own things. Mrs. Smith was listening professionally, but Lizzie really cared. He knew she wasn't well, that her obsession was probably a sickness, yet a pathetic part of him didn't care. He was just happy to have someone paying attention to him. Only after taking a long time did he realize that he was talking about himself like a self-centered jerk. She didn't seem to mind, but he still felt guilty. Sorry, I've been rambling a lot about myself. I could do that sometimes. Oh, don't apologize, I like listening to you talk. It's been pretty boring though. I mean, you already know a lot about me. I want to know everything about you. I've been watching you for a long time. I know all the facts, but I still don't know everything. I can't see inside your head. That's where the important parts of John are, but I can't see them. I wish there was a way to crack your head open, see all the thoughts inside. Oh, well, that's normal, right? John swallowed uncomfortably. You can always just ask me what I'm thinking instead of whatever else you were gonna do to me. Okay, you're so nice, John. So Lizzie, tell me about yourself. Oh, there's nothing to tell. I'm not important. I just want to listen to you more. Isn't that's what we said? But I want to know more about you. Why don't you tell me? Ah, John's so kind. I don't deserve him. So what about your parents? I live alone now. Neither of my parents wanted me anyway. I'm not sure that's true. They're probably just... You don't have to make me feel better. I don't mind. You don't mind that your parents? My father never loved me anyway, and my mother's dead now. My parents separated too. They never made it formal, but yeah, they're separated. Mom doesn't like to visit, and Dad is always at work, so it's not like he's really there. You mean they just leave you alone? How horrible! How dare they just leave you like that? Grr. Oh, clubs. Are you in any after-school clubs? When he wasn't pulling the conversation away from troubling topics, John actually found himself enjoying their talk. Or maybe he was just happy to talk to someone and actually managing to pay attention to the conversation. He finished every bite of lunch without thinking about it. Given the way she stared at the last crumbs while he finished them, that was probably a good thing. Too late it occurred to him that he might have tampered with lunch, yet as she stared at him, so pleased that he enjoyed it, John couldn't believe that she would do anything bad to him. Okay, so she didn't poison it. As soon as he had that thought, he remembered the tree and shivered involuntarily. That's right, she burned down the cherry tree. After school, John had barely gotten out of the door when he spotted Lizzie following him. It seemed as though she was stalking him at first, but when he made eye contact, she gave him a sweet smile and skipped forward. John, let's walk home together. Do we live in the same direction? No, I live all the way on the other side of town, but don't worry, I'll walk back to my house later. Which meant she did know where he lived. He really needed to be more cautious. Maybe we could do something else. You remember our promise? Yes. Getting medicine and therapy has really helped me a lot. I really hope it'll help you too. Now I think it's the easiest thing to do would be to talk to Mrs. Smith. She could... No! No! I hate her. She's awful and she wanted to take you away from me. Wait a second now. That's not true. She just wants to help. John is too nice. He can't see what kind of person she is. I have to protect him. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lizzie, wait. Calm down. If you don't want to talk to Mrs. Smith, we can do something else, alright? Okay. So probably best not to choose a woman. There had to be a male Koei-Tech pharmacist in town. Maybe one of them could prescribe something. But he really wasn't sure how that worked. He had been counting on Mrs. Smith to guide the process, but now he'd have to figure it out himself. Lizzie, I need to do a little research. Is that okay? Okay, I'll follow you. Maybe it would be easier if I did it myself? No. 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 I don't like that idea. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? You can bring another lunch. Oh, see you tomorrow, John. He hoped that medication would help her stabilize. After all, she'd be cute if... Why exactly was he doing this again? He had told himself that it was to help her and to make sure no one got hurt, but now he was hoping she could become normal and stay with him. Pathetic. He couldn't get a girlfriend normally, so he had to take advantage of some poor girl's obsession. For now, it didn't matter. She really did need help, and he might be able to get her, some help. It was just a question of how. The best was probably to ask for advice either from Mrs. Smith or a pharmacist. He could try to research some himself, though he doubted he'd be any good at it. He supposed it wouldn't hurt to ask if she was taking anything else or had allergies or something. Dang it, he would have done that, but earlier now it was too late. John realized that she was still following him. Of course. Would we expect anything less? He shouldn't have been surprised. Okay, so asking her was still an option, but he only had so much time before he had to get home and do his schoolwork, so he needed to choose carefully. Oh, what should we do, guys? Well, I'm assuming that everything's gonna affect the story, but I felt like we should talk to Lizzie. She walked along the street until she was sure Lizzie was slinking after him, then turned and waved to her as she waved back. Hi, John, did you change your mind? Can we go home together? I knew you... No. Chill. I just wanted to check with you. Are you taking any medication right now? Have you had any bad reactions in the past? Oh no, I've never taken anything. My mother always took too many drugs. It scared me when I was little. I see. Are you sure you're really alright with taking medication now then? Aw, John is so considerate. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I see you take your medication every day to try to get better. I want to be like you. Okay, good. I think it'll help. I'll take anything you give me, John. Poison? Just saying, we might have to do that. Stepping out onto the street, John glanced at his watch and decided he had some more time to research his options. Oh, so now we have to do something else. I feel like we should talk to Mrs. Smith, because even though, what's-her-face doesn't trust her, you know, she's still probably really qualified to, you know about this. John headed back to school and discovered that Mrs. Smith was still in her office. She always put in long hours. For a moment, he saw her desk before she had seen him. She looked older, more tired, just staring at the papers in front of her as she worked through them. When she spotted him, though, she immediately flashed a smile. Hello, John. Did you forget something? No, I was just wondering if you could help me with something. I know a person who seems to need some medical help, but it really would be easiest if they came to see me. I'm afraid one of the issues is paranoia, I guess. I don't think they'd be willing to do that, but I'd like to help. Well, it's dangerous to diagnose someone indirectly, but if you describe them, I can at least give you some basic advice. John described Lizzie's worrying behavior as the best as he could without identifying her. He wasn't sure why he was so careful, maybe because she might come after him with a knife if she said too much, or if he said too much. When he finished, Mrs. Smith nodded thoughtfully. It does sound like a serious case. You'd want to get a blood test done in case there's a serious chemical imbalance. Do you think there's any drugs that could help? Koei has a line of very powerful new drugs that could certainly help, but the question is which one would be appropriate. I get a sense that there's a fixation to it. I wish they'd finished developing Irozapam, but I guess it's too early for that. No, I suggest one of two choices. Okay, we don't. Wait a minute. What's that last drug? Nandaquil or Yandaquil? We'll take Yandaquil. I'll take 5 doses of that. Actually, just give me 5 bottles. I've never heard of either of those before. They wouldn't be at all appropriate for treating your condition or most conditions, honestly. They're very experimental. Yandaquil is a sedative and anti-psychotic, while Nizoline promotes focus and clearer thinking. I'm just not sure which one would be right. A question like that should really be made by a medical professional. Are you sure I can't help directly? No, it will be fine. Thanks, Mrs. Smith. So we have to figure out which drugs that she should be taking. Okay. It was getting late and John realized he needed to get home quickly. If he wanted to have time for his homework on the way back, he was sure that Lizzie was following him, but couldn't get a clear look at her. At least it was one more day until the weekend. Friday passed faster than John had expected. Lizzie was nearby at all times, and they ate lunch together, but things were almost normal. Almost. Just when he started to get comfortable, she would give a giggle that went on a little too long, or slide a hand towards where she hid her knife, or respond far more enthusiastically than she should. Was it bad for him to think that she was really cute despite all of that? She could be nice if she wasn't so, well. But John hated it, and his friend suggested he could be fun if he wasn't so depressed, and that thought left an ugly knot in his stomach. Well, it wasn't long now. Maybe she could get some real help. He made it through his last class, almost slept through the session with Mrs. Smith, then headed home. John finished his homework and chores as fast as he could and went to sleep. Going out in public always drained him, and he wanted to have enough energy for the weekend. What is he gonna do in the weekend? He woke up too early, eyes giddy, and head still mirrored in half-remembered dreams. John got up to get a drink and happened to glance out the window. Of course, Lizzie was standing outside his house with a huge smile on her face. After staring at her for a moment, John groaned and went back to bed. How do you go back to sleep like that? The second time he woke up, the sun had already risen. He felt a little better, but not much. Normally he would stay at home all weekend, but he couldn't do that if he wanted to help Lizzie. She was still standing outside his house in the exact same place with the exact same cheerful expression. That's not scary at all. John brushed his teeth, got dressed, combed his hair. He realized he was acting like he was getting ready for a date. True, he had sort of accepted her confession. John decided that was just what he'd have to deal with now if he wanted to have a connection with her. Well, at least he was going out with a cute girl. He hadn't done that since middle school, and those were childish relationships. Of course, this was the only way he could get a date. Pathetic. Oh wow, she's actually wearing nice clothes. Finishing his preparations, John headed outside. He hadn't noticed from his house, but Lizzie had gotten dressed up for the occasion. He'd never seen her outside of her school uniform. It made him hesitate for a moment. She dresses a little too normal, don't you think, guys? John, I'm ready. Good morning, Lizzie. Did you sleep all right? Oh, I didn't sleep. Let's go. All right, let's go, guys. All right, I'm excited. She practically dragged him down the street, apparently heading for the bus station, yet instead of looking forward, her gaze was fixed behind her on him, or whatever. Do you have a plan, John? This is our date. It needs to be perfect. Crap, he should have known that she treated it this way. It wasn't like he had enough time. He used to be good at planning. What was wrong with him? Other than clinical depression, of course. God, he was such a mess. So, I want to deal with the medication issue first so the rest of the day can be fun, right? Sure, whatever you want. If we get a blood test, we'll need to wait a while. I was thinking we could get a test first, then eat breakfast, and then, you know, get the results. That would give us the entire rest of the day. That's such a great plan. Let's hurry. It's really weird that she's like letting us do this. All right, so they went down to go get the test. Look, the Band-Aid has little kitties on it. It's so cute. You want to eat something now then? Yes. They walked to the nearby bakery and bought them a pair of pastries. One of the only advantages of his workaholic father was that at least he had a decent amount of spending money. Lizzie held hers in both hands and began cheerfully nibbling at the end of it. She stared at him while she was doing it, but otherwise she looked ordinarily cute instead of scaredly cute. Nom nom nom. I didn't know you could act so silly. Hee hee, I don't hear you laugh very often. You usually look so sad. That makes me sad too. Alright, where does this game go? I'm waiting for something to happen. So we're having a nice little date. So John went to say something depressing and she stuffed the bread in his mouth. Oh my god, that is so sweet. You're not depressing at all, John. Just being around you makes me feel warm inside. I just want to see you smile more. When you smile, I feel maybe everything will be alright. This kind of reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. And she's the Beast, obviously. So we're actually having a good time laughing with the Yandere girl. So here's what I think could actually happen. Us carrying her Yandere-ness will actually make things a lot worse. Probably. Okay, so now we're ready for the results. Let's go get the results, okay? Will John think differently about me? No, I just want to find a way to help you, okay? Okay. She answered cheerfully, but something in the lightheartedness they had shared was gone, and it wasn't coming back. Swallowing, John stilled himself and walked to the pharmacy with Lizzie. Lizzie slowed near the entrance, then shuffled backwards. I'll stay here. You can bring me what I need, okay? Okay, no problem. Doesn't she have to sign something? Inside, he found the pharmacist writing something on a clipboard. When he spotted John, he immediately frowned. You're alone? I suppose that's for the best anyway. We need to talk. Is something wrong? She's not sick, is she? It isn't that kind of a test. It only takes a snapshot of a person's current condition. Is your friend going through a difficult time right now? Well, I mean, maybe a little. These are some extraordinary numbers. Most people only see those briefly during the worst days of their lives. Take care of her until things pass, okay? Okay. There's something else I have to ask. It won't be comfortable, but it's necessary. Have you ever gotten any sense that she might hurt herself or anyone else? No, I can't imagine her doing anything like that. The lie was out of his mouth before he had even consciously decided to lie. John regretted it immediately, yet now it was too late to contradict himself. The pharmacist grunted and looked over his papers. Well, keep a close eye on her. Even the gentlest person could be capable of violence under conditions like these. Is it really that bad? I thought she seemed better lately. No, there must be some recent trauma she hasn't told you about. I'm certain of it. I mean, someone with numbers like these regularly would be completely incurable, insane probably, and definitely a threat to society. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything. I'm sure she'll work through things. So can you prescribe anything? I can give you 2 weeks of either Yandequil, that's what we need. And also the other thing, I don't know how to say that, Nizoline? That would get her through the rough patch. Just 2 weeks? Can't you prescribe more? Not without much more extensive evaluation, but like I said, that's all you need. I'm sure she'll recover soon. I really should be asking her directly, but in the present condition, I think it'd be better to act like a family member. Okay, so which one do you think would be best for her? Yandequil. I don't know, just the name really helps me decide. Heading outside, John handed the bag to Lizzie. He had pushed pretty hard to get to this point, but he would never force her to take the medication. Okay, I hope you can love me now, John. Lizzie, no, I never meant anything like that. Please don't. It didn't taste bad at all, so can we go on our date now? I already took my medication. Oh god, how is it gonna affect her? I really am looking forward to seeing how that's gonna work. He wanted to go back to what he had said to reassure her that he meant nothing wrong by it, but his words stuck in his mouth. Maybe on some level he did mean to force her, but maybe he was repeating everything that had been done to him. Okay. But with Lizzie smiling at him like that, he couldn't fall too far into depression. Instead, John smiled back and gestured for her to follow. Without any great ideas, John thought they should go to the park. Their town had a pretty nice park, and it was usually empty at this time of day. His friends always said the movies were a good first date, but he suspected they mostly wanted to try to cop a feel. Oh wow. Besides, he was worried Lizzie would end up watching him instead of the movie. In the park, Lizzie happily skipped along the paths, often looking back to him, but at least looking at a lot of other things. As he watched, he realized that she was definitely more stable than usual. She stayed cheerful and sweet without any threats of violence. Could it be that the Yandequil, it's like NyQuil but with Yandere. The Paxitine had taken weeks to work, and whether or not it actually helped had been really unclear. Then again, Lizzie was her own case. Of course, it took more than medicine to cure a serious condition. He knew that all too well. As Mrs. Smith had said, therapy was also an important component of recovery. Hers had certainly helped him a lot. The third main component was a social support network. Okay, so we could be her support. Do you just imagine the advertisement for Yandere? Do you find yourself stalking your senpai all throughout the night? Yandere. I'm Bijuu Mike. I proudly support Yandere. Telling you, sponsorship coming. Alright, so we're having a good first date. To sum it up, you know, I don't want to read through all this text, to be honest. Oh no, a classmate seen us. Holy crap, is that John? With a girl? Hey guys, is that crazy chick you told me about? Oh yeah, that's definitely her. Are you that desperate, John? Given how much of a sad sack he's been lately, I'm pretty sure he is. Do any of you have girlfriends? John says. You guys talk too much crap. Just leave Lizzie out of this, okay? Oh, so we're actually standing up for Lizzie. Oh, F you, John. If she wasn't crazy, you could never get a girl as cute as her. She is pretty hot. I don't get why she's with you. Yeah, this really doesn't make any sense. Aw, John, are you going to cry? Better not, or she'll realize how pathetic you are. His positive mood was completely gone. He knew he should go check how Lizzie was taking the mocking. But it still was the most he could do not to fall into a mire of self-hatred. As always, he felt like she could be stronger than this, less emotionally fragile. And that just added to the self-hatred. If it had been anyone else, she might have crashed completely, but he knew these guys, and he was at least familiar with their attitudes. John pulled himself together and faked a smile at them. Sounds like sour grapes to me. You all have fun with each other, okay? Come on, Lizzie, let's get out of here. They scoffed, but he didn't care. Taking her hand, he walked as fast as he dared out of the alleyway. When they were a safe distance away, he finally glanced at Lizzie and shivered. Her eyes were staring intensely at nothing, and she was gnawing on one knuckle. Was there blood running down her finger? Abruptly, she squeezed his hand and then swept her hands behind her back and smiled at him. That was really sweet of you, John. You're always so nice. She's trying, okay? We'll give her credit where credit's due. Don't let those guys bother you. They say a lot of stuff, but it doesn't mean anything. Is your finger okay? It looked like... I'm okay, John, don't worry. She is trying to hold the yandere back. Alright, so we're gonna continue with our date. Okay, so John actually wants to go home. Is there something wrong? Did I do something wrong? He could hear the tremor in her voice. She knew she needed affirmation, but the apathy was choking him to death. He had no energy for anyone else, no energy for anything but getting back home, curling up, and wishing he was dead. Somehow he said goodbye, found the bus, and got all the way back home. The events passed like he was suffocating in gauze. The world around him seemed too unreal to have any effect. Maybe she could have reassured Lizzie, but it didn't matter. He was an idiot for thinking about how he could help her, but nothing he did mattered. On Sunday, John woke up utterly miserable. It took him several minutes just to push the sheet off his face. Okay, so we're back to being depressed. Alright, so we awoke, and now Lizzie is outside of our door. Good morning, John! He didn't respond. She didn't even seem to notice, moving closer and pulling the blankets away from his face. Are you having a bad day? Don't worry, Lizzie will take care of you. How did she get into our house? Stay right there, okay? Oh God. She gave him a little peck on the cheek, then skipped out on the room. He heard her go across the floor, then enter the kitchen and began opening things. Oh, is she cooking? She did. She totally did. Eat up. You need your strength. Oh my God, guys. She's being so nice, but I want to know when it's going to get crazy, because I know this game gets crazy. Okay, so to summarize it so far, again, everything is actually normal. The medicine seems to be working, and now we're going for another, therapy session with Mrs. Smith, and he kind of feels like he didn't need it. Ready for your session today, John? Actually, I'm feeling really good. Maybe we should skip today's. You should know better than that. If you stop the treatment that's making you feel better, you might have another relapse. No, you're right, sorry. Don't be sorry, just lie down and take a load off. So, how have you been doing lately? Well, I'm okay, I guess. So what's the, at what point did we tell her that we've been going out with a girl? That's better than most weeks, so it looks like you're making progress, by the way. I seen you pass with a girl. Are you two dating? Yes, we're dating. I mean, come on, let's be honest. That's probably good for you. You need more relationships, but I have to ask, have you two been, intimate? What? How can you ask that? I'm not teasing you, this is a very serious question. You better not be leading up to giving me a lecture about safe sex or abstinence or anything. So should I take that as a no? Yes, I mean, no, we haven't done anything like that. It's good to hear that you're at least expressing interest. Koitek got back to me about the Izopam, and it's still decades from viability. So we don't have a solid option for libido issues. Oh my God, we don't need medication for everything. Okay, so now we got back on the subject of the girl. Has the girl ever displayed any strange behavior, erratic tendencies? John's fears flared up again. He nearly talked about the threats Lizzie had made. Yet a memory of her smiling sweetly at him flashed through his mind, and he ended up saying nothing. Is that a no? I said yes though. She's basically normal. I mean, defining normal. What is normal, right? I'm not being rude, John. This is important. You see, I looked up the girl's records, and to my surprise, I actually knew her mother. You knew her mother? Yes, Abby Doss took part in one of our early clinical trials. She was one of the women who had to be removed from the study when she had learned that they had lied about being pregnant at the time. Oh my god. That's how she became Yandere. Her mom was pregnant and lied about it. Plus, I thought she displayed addictive tendencies. I understand she began abusing prescription painkillers later in life too. The poor girl probably had a hard childhood. That's that's actually really cool. So that makes a lot more sense. It's a good way to kind of make, you know, that's why she's mentally unstable, which totally makes sense. You're not supposed to take that kind of medicine, I don't think, while you're being pregnant. So anyway, I just hope the girl turned out alright. Any drugs taken while someone's in utero can have permanent long-term impacts, so I'm glad the girl turned out to be normal. Oh, you have no idea, girl. Moving on, you seem so much better, so I assume the emotional grayness took care of itself. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're lying, but kind of not. So we did some research, and John really believes that she can't be cured because, you know, it's just it's like mental. I don't know. He just thinks that. We don't know yet. Several days later, as they were leaving after school, Lizzie caught up with him, an odd look on her face. John, I'm so happy. Really? I spent so long just watching you, imagining what it would be like to say hello, to hear you say my name, for you to look at me. That we can actually talk like this. It's like a dream, a wonderful dream I never want to end. I'm happy to meet you too, Lizzie. The past week has been so fun. Say, how is Yandere working out for you? No unpleasant side effects? It's wonderful. Thank you so much for giving it to me. Well, I hope you can find some more, you know, once this dose runs out. Some drugs can renew week to week, but I don't know about this one. It could be a pain. Oh no, I wouldn't want you to go to any trouble for me, but it's helping, right? I want you to be able to have more if you want it. That's so sweet, but it's not necessary. It helped us get closer together, didn't it? That's enough. But John, we've been dating since you accepted my confession, but we've only done normal things. I love being with you every single moment, but can we do something more romantic? Oh dear God. They might as well. People already thought of them as dating. She seemed so sweet for so long. What was the worst that could happen? Oh God, this is where the story gets worse, doesn't it? Please? Alright, so we're gonna take her to a nice restaurant or something. No, it's a plan! Friday, Friday, Friday! Alright, so we're gonna take this Yandere girl on a date. Alright. Wow, John, this place is so nice. Okay, alright, I really want to skip some things, okay, guys? It's nothing, you know, personal to the developer. I just, I like to get on with it. Oh, so we can take her hand or just keep talking? Let's take her hand. Let's get romantic here, okay? Lizzie's eyes went wide when he touched her for a moment, just staring as if she couldn't believe it. Oh my God, we're really just like feeling her ego. So we're asking her about herself, and we asked her who do you live with? She says, no, it's just me. Abby inherited the house, I think. She didn't manage to sell it off when things got bad. Abby? My mother, she was an awful woman. I don't want to talk about her. It's a nice enough house, I suppose. Abby wrecked a lot of it, but I've been able to repair it with money from James. Your father? I guess, but he never really cared enough to meet me. Abby always complained about him, and the checks don't always come. But I don't want to talk about that. It's horrible, isn't it? People who don't even pretend to be in love just tear each other apart. That's not what I want, not at all. When I fell in love with you, I knew it would last forever. So now she's really acting normal. This medicine's really working. That's why you guys should take Yandere. Sponsored. Not really. Oh, she's already talking about getting a house together? No way. I gotta say, things are moving just a little too fast, okay? We're still in school here. John, would you like me less if I stopped taking the medicine? Crap, what was he supposed to say about that? John desperately racked his brain for a good answer. I like you, Lizzie. I like the person you really are. Is the person you really are now who you really are? What do you mean? I mean, when I get depressed, I don't feel like myself. Medicine might change me, but it just might change me back to myself. But it's not who you naturally are. Does that matter? I mean, we get to choose who we are. Otherwise, we're not really people, just animals. So, who are you, Lizzie? You seem to be a nice person now that I've gotten to know you. But you liked me tonight? Tonight was wonderful, but I'm not suggesting I liked you before. Silly John, don't worry about it. I love you no matter what. Now, would you like to see my house? Oh God, she's taking us to her house. She led him to a small house. It was a cozy little thing, much warmer and more pleasant than he'd expected. Here it is. Oh God, let's go inside. It's probably a bunch of pictures of me. The inside of the house was less cozy than the outside, not because of the house itself, but because of how bare it was. A few rooms looked as if they'd been used, but the rest looked like they were out of a catalog. This picture, is it your mother? Oh, I forgot I even had that. Lizzie didn't seem to care that John was curious enough to pick up the frame and look closer. He was surprised to find his hand immediately coated in dust. That had to be years of dust. How could Lizzie have lived here for so long and never even disturbed a picture sitting on a table like this? In any case, you can see where Lizzie had got her good looks from. Oh, we're checking out Yandere Mom here. Lizzie encouraged him into the living room and pushed him down onto the large couch. It hadn't seen much use, but it was free from dust and gloriously soft. You stay here, okay? Give me a moment to change out of this. Just live. just look a little better. Just to get comfortable, you know? Oh god. John swallowed and stayed where he was. He didn't have a lot of experience, but he heard his friends talk about the exploits. Oh god, what are we doing? The dustiest parts of the house seemed to have remnants of Lizzie's mother. At least he didn't think Lizzie would be into cheap little glass figurines. Opening one of the rooms, oh, so we're actually looking around now. Opening one of the rooms, he discovered that it was an unused bedroom. He was about to go in when he spotted another picture frame sitting beside the bed. Oh, okay, that's her mother? This one featured Lizzie as a child sitting on her mother's lap. It struck him so strongly that he immediately went to look at it more carefully, but not caring that his hand got even dustier. Lizzie's mother was glowing and obviously proud of her daughter, while Lizzie ignored her entirely. No, not just ignoring her, there was a flat emptiness to her eyes, as if they weren't related. It didn't seem to stop her mother in the picture, but the distance between them was agonizing. Why would she keep a picture like this? Okay, so that's just getting kind of weird. Nothing too weird. So looking into the room more, the room was filled with pictures of him, his yearbook photos, but also lots of pictures of him in class. Pictures she must have taken himself. Oh crap, there were pictures of him sleeping in his own bed. Well, she was staring out your window. What do you expect, broski? Why are we getting scared? We know that she's crazy. He told himself he shouldn't be surprised. He knew that she was obsessed. Okay, yeah. John? Yes, I just wandered off. I'm coming back. Good, there was something I wanted to show you. Oh my god! Oh! John? Oh crap, what are you doing with that axe? You don't trust me, John. That makes me so sad. You thought this is surprising. You think I'm going to trust you when you're coming at me with an axe? I tried to be patient. I can't wait any longer. So I need to take matters into my own hands. Hold still, John. Oh my god. Woo! Okay, guys. Alright, I mean, the logical thing to do would be to run. He ducked low and sprinted for the door, heedless of crashing against the wall. Don't run away. As he reached the front foyer, John dared to look behind him and saw that Lizzie was right on his heels, still smiling. He gave a struggled cry and tried to put everything he had into running, but it didn't matter. Lizzie kept pace with him, and then slamming into the door brought him up short. Oh my god, why is it bloody? He groaned at the impact and then he felt her axe go straight into his back. Oh my god. John cried out in pain while Lizzie began crying. Oh, wait, you did it to me! Why are you crying? You have no right to cry! If anything, I should be crying! Why, John? You were the only thing I had! The only thing! She kept speaking through her tears, but each word was fainter and fainter. Soon all he could focus on was the metal of the axe so deep inside of him. And then the sensation faded. There was nothing left. Oh, there's John! Well, you know, we finally get to see him! Oh, we got a bad end. Unsurprising outcome. Well, that is true. Hope glimmers stronger on another path. Restart the game for a better results. Oh my god, guys. Well, there's that. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this so far. I did not expect her to come chasing us with an axe. Let me know down below if you'd like me to play more of this game. I'm not gonna do Scrub of the Day today because it's probably too long. If you want to see Scrub of the Day, check last episode, okay? I'm pretty sure I did 2 videos today, so be sure to check that out, guys. Or if I did it, I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Bijuu the Mikester, and I'll see you salads in the next one. Bye, guys.